There is a moment most parents know. The toys are everywhere, the same thing has been asked for the fifth time, and the voice just rises. It happens to almost everyone. But in that moment, something is happening inside your child's brain that most parents never see, and that you deserve to understand. This is not a video to make you feel guilty. It is a video to give you something more useful. The science of what actually happens, and 3 things that research says work better than raising your voice ever could. Let us start at the moment the yelling begins. Your child's brain has a structure called the amygdala. Think of it as a tiny alarm system installed at birth, designed to detect threat and trigger a survival response. In under half a second, that alarm fires the moment it registers a harsh, loud sound. It does not read your words. It does not understand that you are frustrated about the shoes being on the wrong feet. It processes one thing, volume and tone. And the signal it sends is simple. Danger. Prepare. When the amygdala fires, it triggers a cascade of cortisol, the stress hormone, flooding your child's body. Their heart rate increases. Their muscles tense. Blood moves away from the thinking parts of the brain toward the survival parts. They cannot learn in this state. They cannot hear what you are actually saying. They can only react. This is not bad behavior. This is biology. Now here is where the long-term science gets important. A 2015 Harvard study followed 200 children across several years and measured their brain volume by age 12. The children who had been regularly exposed to harsh verbal discipline, which the researchers defined as frequent shouting, yelling, or screaming by a parent, showed measurably smaller hippocampi. The hippocampus is the brain structure that handles memory, learning, and the ability to regulate stress. When it is smaller, school becomes harder. Emotional regulation becomes harder. Handling frustration becomes harder. And the effects do not disappear when the yelling stops. They are written into the structure of the brain. But here is something that the research also consistently shows, and this is the part that matters. The brain, especially between birth and age 8, has extraordinary plasticity. It is still building. And calm, warm, responsive parenting does not just reduce harm. It actively builds a stronger brain. A 2020 study from the University of Oregon measured parental voice tone over time and tracked changes in children's prefrontal connectivity, the connections between the front-thinking brain and the emotional alarm system. Children whose parents consistently used low, calm voices showed a 23% increase in those connections compared to children in high-conflict households. 23% more connectivity between the part of the brain that says danger and the part of the brain that says wait, let me think. That connection is the foundation of emotional intelligence. Of focus. Of the ability to sit through frustration without falling apart. So what do you actually do, especially in the moments when yelling feels like the only option left? 3 things the research supports. First, drop your volume before you say anything. The science is clear that what the amygdala reads is not content but signal. A lower voice does 2 things at once. It bypasses your child's alarm system so they can actually hear you. And it keeps your own nervous system regulated, which matters because children co-regulate with their caregivers. Your calm becomes their calm. Second, get to their level physically. This is not just symbolic. When an adult lowers their body so their eyes are at the same height as their child, it removes the physical dominance cue that the amygdala reads as threat. Research from Vanderbilt University found that toddlers were significantly more responsive to correction delivered at eye level than from a standing adult above them. Third, name what you need instead of what you are feeling. Instead of expressing your frustration loudly, try stating the specific behavior change you want. The shoes go on your feet, not the table. Studies on parental directive clarity show that children respond to specific instructions at dramatically higher rates than to emotional outbursts, even when the outbursts are louder and more intense. None of this means you will never raise your voice again. That is not the goal, and it is not realistic. The goal is a pattern over time. And the research on resilience is clear: children are remarkably forgiving of imperfection when the overall pattern is one of warmth and repair. When you do lose it, the most powerful thing you can do is come back. Kneel down, make eye contact, and say something like, "I got too loud. That was not helpful. I am sorry." Research on repair after conflict shows that these moments of return actually strengthen the attachment between parent and child. Your child learns something deeper than just the rule you were trying to teach. They learn that relationships can survive rupture. That love comes back. So here is what I want to leave you with. Every interaction you have with your child, especially the hard ones, is a small piece of the brain they will carry into adulthood. The calm you bring to the moments that frustrate you most is not weakness. It is architecture. You are literally building the structure of how they will handle stress, learn, and connect with others for the rest of their life. What would you want to build in them today?